What is up, guys, and welcome back to part 24 of this F1 2016 career mode here at the Chinese Grand Prix. If you've missed the previous 2 episodes from this season or season 1, then you can click the little card annotation in the top right hand corner of your screens to pretty much catch up with everything that's happened over my career so far. But as you can see on screen right now, after 2 races in this season, we're currently leading the Drivers' Championship. I know it's only early stages and it doesn't really mean too much, but it's absolutely fantastic to be leading the championship at this stage and to have won my first race last time out at the Bahrain Grand Prix. It was a fantastic race for us. You know, we led from start to finish, I believe, after getting them off the line. No, actually, no, we got pole position. Yeah, we got pole position. So it was a fantastic race for us, fantastic weekend for us. And we were a bit lucky that the 2 Ferraris did actually make a collision. But, you know, in F1, you need a bit of luck, and we certainly got that there at the Bahrain Grand Prix. So we'll be looking to sort of do the same sort of thing here at the Chinese Grand Prix. Hopefully get pole position and then hopefully lead and win the race from there. But, you know, F1 usually likes to throw out a few surprises, so we just have to wait and see for that. But for now, let's get into the practice sessions for the Chinese Grand Prix.
This weekend sees us arrive in Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. First up is today's practice session.
Here we are then, just going over my first couple of laps in this Chinese Grand Prix, just around the final corner now, doing the track acclimatization as we usually do. Coming across the line, we do manage to get a purple score, which was absolutely fantastic. Means that we get a lot of resource points going into the next couple of races, which means that hopefully we will be able to upgrade our car, maybe for the Russian Grand Prix. So hopefully we can have some upgrades there. But unfortunately, we were down at the bottom of practice with a 141.2, which is a little bit disappointing. However, we usually do a lot better in qualifying and as the race weekend goes on. So we go into FP2, we get on with our tyre wear management, and a little bit of a battle there with Valtteri Bottas. Not too sure what he was doing, he's just trying to hold us up on the apex of the final corner. We failed the last lap, but we did actually manage to get a purple score overall, which was fantastic news. And yeah, we managed to get a purple score on the tyre wear management, which means even more resource points going into the Russian Grand Prix. But unfortunately, we couldn't get the qualifying run done. Unfortunately, our lap times just weren't quick enough. We were only good enough for 8th position in FP2. And yeah, a little bit disappointing there. But we do a lot better in qualifying than we do in the race, so hopefully we can get into Q3 and possibly even challenge for a top 5 finish in this qualifying session. I know the team will be wanting us to get maybe a top 4 or top 5 finish, so we just need to make sure that we try and achieve that. But for now, let's head into qualifying for the Chinese Grand Prix. Just before we head into qualifying, we have a new rival after beating Max Verstappen at the last race weekend in Bahrain. So we've got Kimi Raikkonen as our new rival in this season. He's currently 2nd in the Drivers' Championship, just behind us. So you can tell that we are going to have a rivalry with Kimi Raikkonen as the season goes on. He will definitely be trying to hunt down the Drivers' World Championship. Hopefully we can beat him here in China. Let's wait and see as we head into qualifying.
We'd like to welcome you from wherever in the world you join us today for this F1 qualifying session here in Shanghai, China.
Here we go then for the first qualifying session of the day. We should be able to get out of Q1 very, very easy. I mean, we've got a very fast car now, not like the end of last season where we were sort of in the midfield area. Now we definitely have a good enough car to get us out of Q1 and into Q2. But we are going to go out for a lap at the beginning and just see where that puts us in the standings. Here we are then on my first lap in this qualifying session, coming around the final corner, down towards the line. DRS open. What is the time good enough for? It's only good enough for 1:36.7. It's enough for 3rd position at the moment in qualifying, but we're just going to have to wait and see how the session goes on. And coming on to the next lap, we're still in P4. We come down towards the line, and it is actually 19 thousandths slower than our previous best lap. So we definitely have consistency around this circuit. We just need to get maybe a little bit more pace to hopefully try and challenge with the big boys like Kimi Raikkonen, Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel as well. But P6 in Q1, great result, and that sets us up really well for the rest of qualifying. Hopefully it will be enough to get us into Q3 as well, but we're just going to have to wait and see for that. But let's head into Q2 and see how it goes. Right then, Q2, round the hairpin. Have we got enough speed in this Renault to get out of Q2 and into Q3? We're just going to have to find out as we come around the final corner now. Nice and tidy through there. Maybe just missing the apex just a little bit. DRS open, down towards the line. The time is good enough for a 1:37.685. We're trying to set our best lap time on these soft tyres, just so that we can get the strategy on the other guys in the actual race. Here we go, round the final corner once again, down towards the line. It is an improvement at the moment by about 4 tenths of a second, 5 tenths of a second, no, just 4.8. 0.48, and it's good enough for 5th position at the moment, 1:37.2, and is that good enough to get us into Q3? We're just going to have to wait to see at the moment. Yes, it is. Yes, we are into Q3, 6th position in the standings. A fantastic result for us in qualifying, and it means that us, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen definitely have the race strategy in the race. So starting on soft tyres sets us up really well, because the super soft tyres do not last for very long around this Chinese Grand Prix. So being on the soft tyres is absolutely fantastic, and hopefully, if the race is actually dry, we will have a very, very good strategy in the race. But qualifying isn't quite over yet. We could still get pole position. So let's head over to Q3 and see how we do in the top 10 shootout. Right then, Q3, and here we are going round for our first lap in Q3. We're just going for one lap right at the start, just sort of get a bank lap, because we have so many fresh sets of tyres available to use, and it's only good enough for 2nd position, but 96 thousandths of a second slower than Kimi Raikkonen, so close to the Ferrari driver. And here we are for our 2nd lap here in qualifying. It's 3 tenths slower, so we will not be improving on this lap, which was a little bit unfortunate, but we still have one more lap left in this qualifying session to try and bag pole position. Will we be good enough for pole? I don't think so. At the moment, we're 1/10 down on Kimi Raikkonen. It's not going to be enough, unfortunately. We're only good enough for P2 in this qualifying session, but that is still a fantastic result, seeing as we have the strategy for the race. Sebastian Vettel also getting a 5 position penalty, so I'm not too sure what has happened to him there in qualifying, but very, very disappointing for the Ferrari driver. But 96 thousandths of a second slower than Kimi Raikkonen is still a fantastic result, and we have the strategy for the race, so hopefully we can push on and try and get another race win. But Kimi Raikkonen, he lines up in pole position with myself alongside him in 2nd. Lewis Hamilton is on the 2nd row with Sebastian Vettel next to him. Nico Rosberg lines up in 5th with Danny Kvyat in 6th. Daniel Ricciardo in 7th with Max Verstappen, his teammate, alongside him in 8th. Carlos Sainz, he lines up in 9th with Esteban Gutierrez rounding out the top 10. So, can we get our 2nd race win in this F1 2016 2nd season of my career mode? We're just going to have to find out as we head into the race for the Chinese Grand Prix.
Hard work, ingenuity and ambition. All things you'll find in abundance amongst the 15 million people of Shanghai over there to our southeast. And we've got plenty of that here on the grid as well. 20,000 horsepower, give or take, chomping at the bit to be unleashed for the Chinese Grand Prix. Shanghai International Circuit then, a 16-corner high-speed thrill ride. The long and ever-tightening right-hander at turns 1 and 2 tests a driver's patience, and the flat, open to the elements location, tests their skill in a crosswind. 2 DRS zones will assist passing, and overtaking is available into turn 1 and of course down the kilometre-long back straight into the hairpin at turn 14. I for one can't wait to get started, and there's another very excited little chap here beside me as well. It's our very own Anthony Davidson. Great to see you again today.
Thanks for that, Crofty, and I'm really anxious to get underway here. We've got all the makings of a great race today. World champions in competitive cars, lots of drivers on form, and I suspect a few strategists on the pit wall looking to try something a bit different and maybe jump their cars up the order.
We're in a better grip position than we were expecting. Let's see if we can hold on to it.
It's race day here at the Chinese Grand Prix, starting in a fantastic 2nd position on the grid, narrowly missing out on pole position with Kimi Raikkonen just edging us out for that by 1/10 of a second. So a little bit disappointed not to get pole, but P2 still a fantastic result in qualifying. Having a look at the race strategy for today's race, we're going to be starting in dry conditions, then heading over to light rain, then wet, heavy rain conditions, and then going back to light rain conditions for the end of the race. So starting on the soft tyres could actually be a fantastic race strategy to start on, but we're just gonna have to wait and see whether the actual rain comes down then. So it might not actually be, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But for now, we're gonna sort of go on to put the super softs in the middle, just in case that rain comes down after the soft tyres. Then we can go on the super softs, and then it should be coming down by then. But the super soft tyres aren't gonna last too long at this race, so we need to be a little bit aware of that one. But I think that's a good race strategy to go for. Hopefully the rain comes down during our soft tyre stint, because then everyone on the super soft tyres, we will get a free pit stop on those guys. And possibly, if we can take those soft tyres a little bit longer than everyone else who is on the soft tyres, we could possibly have a free pit stop against those guys. We're going to have to wait and see as the race goes on. Here we are getting ahead for the formation lap, and we're putting it into anti-stall there. Not a very good start to this Chinese Grand Prix, but luckily we did that now instead of doing it on the race. We remember we've got to hold down the clutch, and hopefully we don't do that for the race start. We're going to get past all these drivers once again, get up into second place, warm up our tyres, warm up the brakes as we head on to the grid. And here we are on the starting grid as the lights start to come on. It's 5 red lights. Lights out, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix. It's a great start compared to Kimi Räikkönen. So much quicker off the line compared to the Ferrari. And we are up into the lead of this Chinese Grand Prix with a much better strategy compared to the guys behind us. Going round into turn 1. And there we go, holding on to the lead of the race. A fantastic start for us in this Chinese Grand Prix. And hopefully we can hold on to the lead of the race up until the pit stop phase. But here we are on lap 2 at the moment. We've got Kimi Räikkönen right behind us. We've got a bit of a train of cars behind us, including a Ferrari, 2 Mercedes, a Toro Rosso, and a Red Bull. And here is Kimi Räikkönen in the slipstream, going down in towards turn 1. We're going to move over to the right-hand side, take the inside line down in towards turn 1. Kimi Räikkönen tries around the outside, under braking, much better compared to us. But as we had the inside line, we could turn into the corner much better. And unfortunately, Kimi Räikkönen gets hung out to dry on the outside of the hairpin. But he's going to have another attack down in towards lap 3 on the same position on the circuit, going down into the hairpin. DRS is now activated, so Kimi Räikkönen has a much better chance to try and get past us here once again on the left-hand side. Going down into the hairpin, Kimi Räikkönen round the outside. Can he make it stick this time around? No, he can't. Kimi Räikkönen just has to hold on for P2 for the time being, and unfortunately for him, he can't get past us just of yet. And he's actually coming into the pits very, very early on lap 3, so these super soft tyres not lasting very long at all in this Chinese Grand Prix, and coming down towards the pits. And Kimi Räikkönen coming in for a new set, I believe, of super soft tyres, or it could be the soft tyres, I'm not too sure. But cutting ahead to lap 4 at the moment, we've got Lewis Hamilton right to our tail, so now he is deciding to go on an attack, and we're actually racing with Lewis Hamilton because he is on the same strategy as we are. So he's gone on the soft tyres for the start of the race. We do need to be aware of that. We've got the inside line once again down into the hairpin, but Lewis Hamilton holding it round the outside, something that Kimi Räikkönen could not do earlier on in the race. Now he's got the inside line in towards this corner. We shot it back around the outside. It's side by side across the start-finish line. Lewis Hamilton having to tuck back, but once again he's going to get slipstream, and he is going to get DRS down in towards turn 1. He's going to try and hold it around the outside into the first corner as the rain looks like it's starting to come down on circuit. So the rain has started, so we're going to try and hold out on these soft tyres till the intermediate tyre conditions. And looks like we've got the position on Lewis Hamilton as well, which is absolutely fantastic as we're on board with Lewis Hamilton once again here on lap 5. And looks like he is going to get slipstream. Looks like he is going to get DRS as well, moving to the left-hand side. So once again, we're taking that inside line. It's working pretty well for us as this race has gone on. And Lewis Hamilton trying it round the outside, but going a bit too deep. He was trying a cutback move there, but unfortunately could not make it stick. And he's actually lost a bit of time to us. And once again, he's going to have to wait till lap 6 now to go for an attack. But he's just not close enough to go for the move down into the hairpin. He gets very close behind us, so he might be able to go for a move down the start-finish straight into turn 1 once again. The rain is starting to get a little bit heavier out on circuit. It looks like Lewis Hamilton is actually deciding to come into the pits. So is he going to be making that gamble, going on to the intermediate tyres very, very early on compared to us, and possibly try and get the jump laps if the tyre conditions are right? So have we made a bad call going a little bit too late? No one else is coming into the pit lane. Lewis Hamilton is actually going on to normal soft tyres, so he's not actually deciding to wait out for the intermediates. He's deciding to go onto the soft tyres, which is a complete waste of a lap, because one lap later is good enough for intermediate tyres. We are coming into the pits for a new set of intermediate tyres, and we've got a free pit stop on Lewis Hamilton as we lose the back end out to that corner, just because there is no grip out on circuit at the moment, because it's definitely time for intermediates here on lap 7, starting lap 8. And coming into our pit box, we are so far ahead of the rest of the guys. There are a few guys behind us, like Roman Grosjean. He started the race on the mediums, so he's got a good strategy, and he, I believe, is in second place at the moment. But compared to the rest of the guys who decided to go super softs and softs at the start, all of those guys, we've got a free pit stop on, which is absolutely fantastic. They're all coming into the pits now, and we're going to exit our pit box in P1, leading today's race. And yeah, pretty good news for us. But here we are on lap 12. We're on board with the Red Bull of Daniel Ricciardo. He's trying to maybe go for an overtake on Felipe Massa down in towards the hairpin. Can he possibly go for a move on the Williams driver? No, he can't, because he's got an engine failure. Sorry, I got my words mixed up, but Daniel Ricciardo has got an engine failure on lap 12 of this race. Very, very disappointed the Red Bull, and they are not having a good season at all in this second season of my career mode. Absolutely disappointing there for Daniel Ricciardo to once again get 0 points in this race, and he is going to be very, very frustrated at Red Bull at the moment. But here we are on lap 17. So it looks like the track conditions are getting a lot worse. So we lose the back end all over the place going in towards that corner, all over the place on the grass. We managed to get the car under control once again. Don't actually put it into the wall, but luckily we have such a huge gap over Romain Grosjean. 17 seconds it was before we made the mistake, so it is going to come down quite a bit, but it is now definitely time for wet tyres, hence why we were all over the place out of the corner. As you can see, we're just struggling to put the power down, and we're definitely going to have to come in for a new set of wet tyres. And here we are on the end of lap 17, coming down towards the pit lane. Under braking, we don't want to lock up and put it into gravel like Lewis Hamilton did in 2007 when he lost the World Championship, pretty much because of that. But here we are coming into the pit lane. Need to make sure that we pit before the line, which we do. And there we go, starting lap 18, coming into the pits now for a new set of wet tyres. Now, I'm not too sure how long these tyres are going to last, whether they're going to last till the end of the race, or whether the light rain is going to come back into play, and we might possibly be going onto intermediate tyres by the end of the race as well. But we're just going to have to wait and see how this race develops. We still have such a huge gap over Romain Grosjean at the moment, who's literally just coming into his pit box right now. And yeah, P1 in this race once again, leading this race still, and it's been pretty good for us. You know, we're just driving out in front. We're just having a very, very solid race at the moment, just making sure that we stay ahead, don't make any mistakes, and try and make sure the other guys do not get past us. But here we are on lap 23, and it looks like the track is drying up quite a bit, and it is actually. So we are coming into the pits now for a set of intermediate tyres. So here we are, a couple of laps later, going on to the intermediate tyres, and still have a massive gap to Romain Grosjean. So we are doing very, very well in this Chinese Grand Prix, just keeping it out in front, making sure that we don't make any mistakes, and it's working really well for us, and we are on the verge of getting our second race win in this Chinese Grand Prix, which would be absolutely fantastic, because our results so far this season has been a second, a first in Bahrain, and we're definitely looking like we could get another first place in this Chinese Grand Prix. But it's not over yet. Anything can happen, so we obviously don't want to jinx ourselves at the moment. So we're running very well in the lead of the race, and hopefully we can hold on to it. And here we are on lap 24 at the moment, going through this left-hander. So what's going on here? Running very, very wide at the moment, but it looks like it's not going to be too much of a problem. And we actually get a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, whereas the only warnings that we have had is when we've actually come into the pit lane. It was really, really annoying. When we came into the pits on the wet tyres, we got a warning for exceeding track limits. So then we make one mistake there of running wide, and we actually get 2 3-second time penalties. Only one popped up. We actually got 2 3-second time penalties for that, which was really, really frustrating. So now we do need to be aware of how far ahead we are compared to Romain Grosjean, and we've run it very, very deep into this corner. That is a disaster for us. We are only 12 seconds ahead of Romain Grosjean before we made the mistake, so it could be very, very close. We're now on board with the Haas driver of Esteban Gutierrez, whose engine has blown up. That's Esteban Gutierrez out of today's race. However, I don't think he was in the points, so it's not going to mean too much for him, but still very, very disappointing for Esteban Gutierrez, as we're on board with Max Verstappen now going into the hairpin. He's going very, very slow out of the hairpin right now. Not too sure what's going on with Max. No, he's had an engine failure as well. 2 Red Bulls are out of this Chinese Grand Prix. Very, very disappointing for the Red Bull team to get 0 points here today. They are not having a great season at all in the second season of my career mode. Very, very disappointing there for Max Verstappen. But nevertheless, we're coming round the hairpin on lap 28, the final lap of this Chinese Grand Prix. It has been a fantastic race for us. Hardly made any mistakes. We have just driven to perfection, and maybe minus a couple of mistakes in the race, but still, we're coming down to the line to win our second race in this 2017 season.
Fantastic drive, just fantastic. You deserve that race win.
So, another fantastic victory for Renault today. have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
Here come today's winning drivers, and what a race it was. This is a team that knows success very well in F1, and they're just itching for even more. Congratulations to the Renault team for their excellent win today.
So not the most exciting of races here today at the Chinese Grand Prix, but nevertheless, we managed to pull it out of the bag and get our second race win here at the Chinese Grand Prix. And that also means that we've got a full house of podiums for this second season of my career mode. We finished the race in first. You know, we only made a couple of mistakes, but it was just, we were just driving so much quicker compared to Romain Grosjean in those intermediate tyres. We just managed to pull out a fantastic gap to those guys. We also were a bit lucky to get that free pit stop on quite a lot of the other drivers, so we're very, very thankful for that. But still, another race win in this season, and we are definitely very, very happy with that result. So today's race, we win with Romain Grosjean finishing in second. Kimi Räikkönen, our rival, down in third place. That means we should extend the gap to him in the Drivers' Championship. Sebastian Vettel getting his first points of the season in fourth place, with Nico Rosberg in fifth. Jenson Button in sixth, with Lewis Hamilton down in seventh place. Nico Hülkenberg finishes in eighth, with Fernando Alonso in ninth, and Felipe Massa getting the final championship points. Let's have a look at how this affects us in the Drivers' standings. And as you can see in the Drivers' standings, we have extended our lead to Kimi Räikkönen by a further 10 points. It's now 13 points, the gap in the Drivers' standings. We are leading the way, which is absolutely fantastic for us in the season. We did not expect, coming into the second season of career mode, to be leading the Drivers' Championship by the third race of the season, and by a gap of 13 points, which is absolutely fantastic. Romain Grosjean is in third place as well, with Carlos Sainz in fourth. So it's a bit of a surprise and a bit of a mixed bunch at the moment in the Drivers' standings. But I suppose if you look at research and development race, Mercedes should be up there, to be fair. They should be up there, and so should Sebastian Vettel. So they've had a bit of reliability issues, and it's a little bit disappointing for those guys. But the Toro Rossos and the Haas guys have definitely done a fantastic job of research and development, and definitely deserve to be up there. But let's have a look at how this affects us in the Constructors' standings. And take a look at the Constructors' standings, and Renault are currently leading the way with 80 points. 13 points ahead of Ferrari, which is absolutely fantastic. Haas and Mercedes managed to improve in the standings as well, with Toro Rosso dropping down. McLaren Honda also jump up to 7th place, with Red Bull Racing, who have had a very, very disappointing season so far. Force India, who for some reason just aren't developing their cars. So that's why they're just getting pushed further down the field. Sauber not getting any points either, and Manor Racing, obviously you expect those guys to be at the bottom, but I also think that Manor are doing a good job at the moment. They are improving the car, and hopefully they can get a couple of points in this season. But that is it for today's Chinese Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Taking a look at the first rivalry update against Kimi Räikkönen at today's Chinese Grand Prix, and I think it's going to be pretty even. No, it's not. Kimi Räikkönen actually leading the way 12-8 right now, despite actually getting a race win there. Unfortunately, we just did not get the fastest lap compared to Kimi Räikkönen. And, well, we did get the fastest lap, but for some reason he beat us in all sectors, which was a little bit weird. But nevertheless, we're not too upset about that. But resource points, we have 1,043 resource points to upgrade our car. So we are going to go ahead and upgrade the chassis weight just to make it look a little bit more even in terms of research and development. And that will also help us jump up, hopefully, above Mercedes in the vehicle performance comparison. So hopefully we'll jump up above Mercedes and be very, very close to Ferrari as well, and possibly even jump those guys within the next couple of races. I'm thinking about maybe upgrading the engine power next, or the drag on my car. But if we don't have enough resource points, we may just have to compromise and go for either the chassis weight or the downforce as well. We're not really going to upgrade fuel efficiency anymore until sort of the end of this season, or the end of our research and development. So once we've upgraded pretty much everything, then we'll go for fuel efficiency once again. If you have enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button. Also subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. We're going to have this career mode coming to you every single day for the whole of season 2, and then season 3 we'll decide to maybe break it down just a little bit. But don't worry, because when season 3 is out, we're also going to have the Pro Formula Racing League coming back to this channel sometime sometime in October. And of course, FIFA 17 is coming out later in the month, so I'm definitely going to have a lot of videos on that. If you guys enjoy that, then you can definitely look forward to that. And if you are subscribed, then you never have to miss an episode from me. But I'll see you next time at the Russian Grand Prix. Until then, though, it's goodbye from me.